right. Well,
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Henry Kaminski here from the Passionpreneur Inner Circle, and this is episode number 21 of the Passionpreneur live video podcast. I got an amazing guest here today, Damien Watts from Positive Energy Marketing. Me and Damien connected on Facebook, believe it or not. He started following me. We started talking back and forth, and when I put that message out there the other day about looking for some people to interview on this podcast, he stepped up to the plate and he was like, "Bro, I'd love to be on the show. Like, share my story." And I was like, perfect. So Damien, we're going to spend the next 30 minutes, right? We want to know, right? We want to know your entrepreneurial journey that you went through and what you're still going through that got you to where you are today with Positive Energy Marketing. And I have to say, I love the name of this brand. So take us from the top.
all right. Well, it all started, I was in network marketing. So I was working for a company called Amway. And that is what really was my first introduction to, network marketing, getting out there, going and trying to chase a dream. And after I graduated college, I found myself, in the corporate America, and I wanted more for myself. So what ended up happening is after, leaving a job of a 9 to 5, starting my own little venture, I was in website and app development. And I didn't know, I knew how to do the coding, but I didn't know how to market it. I didn't know how to get myself out there. So, I took my experience up from network marketing to try to get in front of business owners, do everything that you're supposed to do, and as far as that goes. But what ended up happening was it was a lot harder than I thought it was. So what ended up happening is I came across a course, Ty Lopez, if you're familiar with him. He has a social media agency group, and what happened is I connected with the instructors, and I ended up landing a partnership with a search engine optimization direct marketing guru. So his name is Joshua Earp, and what happened is I joined his course to learn some search engine optimization to try to get my business found online and ranking in the search engines. So through that course, after the first day, I ended up landing a client for $5,000. Honestly, I went through it so hard. I was able to land that first client, and then the very next day landed another one. So Joshua was very impressed, and he was like, "You know what? I think that we should partner up and team up on this deal because honestly, I didn't have the resources to do it all. So I was just going out, took what I learned, and I was very limited on the resources. So I said, you know what, Joshua, I think that this would be perfect to combine our services and utilize your resources. And he was all for it. And, this guy consults with multi-billionaires, TV stars, and celebrities. And, his list is incredible.
Yeah.
So
let me just pause right there because you made this is a very good point that I want to just bring out to the audience. You had a limited amount of resources, you had a limited amount of knowledge, and you leveraged other people's superpowers, combined them with yours, yes, and was able to land 2 clients in a week, bam, 5-10 grand a pop.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Continue.
So, my mentors, they preach all the time. Knowledge is great, but it's about the immediate action. And that's what I took upon myself to say, you know what, I'm going to learn everything I can. I wasted a lot of money and resources on trying to find the people to follow, and I came across Russell Brunson, this guy, I immediately, got hit with upsells and downsells, and I fell into his funnels, but I literally bought everything.
Yeah.
So, it was about finding the right audience to follow. So the social media, I found the right people. Joshua has the connections. He's hooked linked me to people, you know, that are doing marketing for Tony Robbins. I mean, these connections that I'm able to build upon and learn from, it just steers me in a clear path. So I'm able to be extremely focused and just execute at a very high rate. So, you know, after all that, you know, the reason I came up with positive energy marketing was because I'm all about positive energy. I mean, if you can get positive clients, you know, to stay away from the negative ones that are always that don't really understand marketing. I try to keep the positive energy as far as positive results. So I'm trying to create a brand around, you know, positive vibes, you know. So that was the whole gist of the positive energy marketing. And
real quick, I think I don't know if it's your earbud cord, but it's like rubbing against something and I'm getting a little bit of feedback. So just,
okay.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of a jiggle or something. So I just want to make sure that doesn't go on the whole episode. Okay. Now it's clear. Now it's clean.
All right, I can hold it like this. It's
cool.
Absolutely fine.
All right, cool. The second part that I wanted to just say was, bro, I love what you're doing because you make a huge point. What you put out, the positive energy you put out is the positive energy you get back.
Yes.
And the minute you realize that, everything changes. Go on.
Everything literally changed. I went from being a beginner to, you know, listening to Neil Patel and all of these guys that specialize in all these different areas. So, you know, my company, it's a full digital agency. So, I mean, we handle everything when it comes to marketing, and I was able to dive into it very, very deeply and create valuable relationships. So now it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing, but I'm guaranteeing the results.
Now, how can you do that? Because that creeps me out a little bit, because I say, how can you guarantee those results when you don't know whether or not this particular brand that you're helping, how they're going to resonate with the audience? So when I use that guarantee word very, very strongly. So talk to me about that.
Well, the reason I use guarantee is because I do a lot of testing, a lot of testing. So everything that I do, I back up with proven results, ROI. So everything, whatever kind of numbers you want, conversion rates, whatever it may be, we will do everything in our power to get positive results. Okay. So that's what it's all about. So that's what we're guaranteeing. We're guaranteeing that we're not going to quit. We're going to strive for greatness at all costs. Because at the end of the day, if we're not getting the results, they're not going to continue paying us. So
that's right.
And that's what I mean by guarantee. So, I utilize my resources very, very well. So when it comes to ranking in the search engines, I have the proof. We'll show you. We're ranking multiple sites, number 1, number 2, number 3 on the first page of Google. These people are being found, raising tremendous ROI for their businesses. So, guarantee is a very strong word, but but we're very confident, but not in a braggadocious way. We like to work with excellence, and we go after great results all the time.
That's awesome. So you team up with this guy, you basically share your superpowers. Now you're working together to build this brand, positive energy marketing. What is the goal? What is this goal? So let me walk through the story real quick, just to recap. So you came out of college, you were looking to, start your professional career. You got into network marketing, you dove in, you were like, not really feeling this too much. Got into the digital marketing space, the online space, found Ty Lopez, awesome dude, met him at Traffic and Conversion. Super nice guy. Immersed yourself into that, then linked up with one of the coaches?
Search engine optimization, basically teachers.
Okay, one of the teachers. So one of the SEO teachers, linked up with him, connected with him, now created a brand together called Positive Energy Marketing?
Yes.
And now you're cruising, at 30,000 feet. Now, where are you headed? Where are you looking to go? This is a phenomenal story, by the way, because you see how it goes like this,
Yeah,
guys. Like
definitely.
there's no, straight road to success. The entrepreneurial journey is a shit show, and it's just a matter of who has the stamina, who's got the grit to keep going. So
Yes.
I want to hear from you, D, where you're headed in the next year. I hate when people are like, "What's your 5-year plan?" Shit, I don't even know if I'm going to be alive in the next 5 years. Like I can't tell you what I'm going to do in the next. I can't tell you what I'm going to do tomorrow. But I say for the next year, year and a half, what does that look like for you and positive energy marketing?
Over the next year and a half, right now we are working on building the personal brand. That is where it seems to be a very, very valuable thing today, and I feel like it's going to be the future. You know, establishing that brand for yourself.
Mhm.
But where I see us going, I mean, the limits are they're honestly endless. With search engine optimization on the rise, with all of these different people that don't know how to use social media and the marketing, the possibilities are endless. But right now, my end goal is to definitely pass that, 200, $300,000 range within the first year. So
Okay.
that's my goal, and that's where we're headed. So with Joshua, he, he's great at what he does, and utilizing his resources allows me to, you know, move at a quicker pace because as you mentioned, the roller coaster ride, oh yeah, it's real. So I mean, we started out, we were hesitant going and talking to these different business owners, but once I got a clear path and a clear strategy, you
Mhm.
know, we started out going to, local BNI groups, local meetup groups on meetup.com, just trying to get our names out there.
Mhm.
But what ended up happening was it was just a big referral, I mean, not referral, but business card handing back and forth. The quality of the leads weren't that great. So it's just, we figured, you know what, I'll just host my own. So from that, it's opening up a huge opportunity. So it's literally just me, and what I'm doing is I'm giving back value.
Mhm.
I've figured that the more value you give, the more you'll receive, and it's not doing it to receive anything, but as you grow on these business owners and the more value that you give, you seem as the authority.
Mhm.
And right now, I'm looking to dominate the area.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. That's
that's
awesome.
the goal.
So that's awesome, and you just got to keep grinding. Obviously we connected because you reached out and you said, I'm looking for help to grow and build my personal brand, and that's my cup of tea. That's what I do for my clients, and it's funny because when you work on that, Damien, it's like it's going to benefit your business, but it's also going to affect your personal life too. Like, does that make
Yes,
sense? Like,
perfect.
so it makes sense for everybody out there that's wants to be an aspiring entrepreneur or is an entrepreneur now is to really focus in on that personal branding and really invest in yourself, right? Is basically what you've done, what you've showcased really over the course of, I don't know how long you've been out of school or how long this story goes across, but I see you based on the story you just told that when you invested in yourself, you got positive return. Now, my question for you, here's where I want you to kind of showcase your expertise a little bit. So, um, where is it that entrepreneurs are falling short? Where is it that they're stumbling and they're tripping up where you kind of come in and you're like, this is where you're hurting. This is where we can help you.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I feel that, on my journey where I stumbled was who are you getting your information from
Mm.
and the will to not stop after if stuff hits the fan, not stopping and trying to figure out a way to grind through it.
Mm.
That's been the most
So what's the
uh
alternative?
As far as
So when they hit that brick wall, they have two choices. They have to grind through it or quit. Like you
yes.
said, don't grind through it. What do we do?
So basically, if you don't grind through it, well, you like you mentioned, you have two options. You're either gonna quit and move on to something else, and that's where I started out. I was bouncing from thing to thing to thing, and
We all
until
were.
I got, just trying to figure out the best strategy. What's hot, what's not, figuring that all out and trying to stay in front of the trends. So now, now that I see the trend and where it's headed, I'm able to capitalize on it. But as for entrepreneurs, what I would say is don't quit.
Hmm.
That's my biggest message is just keep fighting through it. If it's not working, you know, I want to say it's what was that, Albert Einstein or Thomas Jefferson, someone, they kept going and kept going. I kept going. I think it was 10,000 times. Failure is not, to me, failure is not real. I look at it as experiments. I know what not to do
Yeah.
as far
Yeah.
as far as that goes.
Yeah.
So, my message
So
to them
grind
is
through it, but get the help is what you're saying.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, and don't quit because I see a lot of people they quit right as they're about to crush.
yes.
I see
And
it. I see it every day.
that's one area where I can say I humbled myself and said, you know what? I don't get it. I need help. I'm going to reach out. And luckily I got, everyone that I reach out to, like yourself, they respond because honestly, it's about it isn't really much about the knowledge. It's about how hard are you willing to go.
Yeah. I mean, what's important to your life, right? I mean, one of my mentors, and I keep seeing this show up it's almost every week, Damien, where, when I ask questions to a few of my coaches and some of the people that I work with on a week, on a regular basis, they all say the same thing. They say, what's important to your life right now? And if you can dial in on that, the answer to your question is right in front of your face.
Yes.
And that's powerful stuff. Like that's powerful stuff. So what you're saying is the biggest challenge that entrepreneurs are facing right now is they're not going that extra mile, or like they're quitting too soon. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, basically I'm saying they're quitting too soon and some people are, you know, cautious when it comes to reaching out to individuals who may specialize in something with the fears and the doubts of getting a no. The way I look at it and what network marketing taught me was, you know you can go around, you're going to get hundreds of no's, but that one yes is going to be so valuable to you. and that's what I build on. I'm not afraid to reach out to anyone. If there's a billionaire in the room, I will go and speak to him if he has a need, or if I'm in need of something that he offers,
That's
and
it.
I'm gonna put it out there on the table and let them know.
Listen, it's funny you bring that up because I think a lot of us get starstruck very easily. And I put this out yesterday on one of my Instagram posts, and I said, when you put, and I didn't make this up. I saw this on a quote, but I forget who it was. But it was like, if you put somebody on a pedestal, they have no choice but to look down at you. And I admit, I mean, when I was growing up as a kid, I had these heroes in my life, right? Some of them are family members, and I would put them on a pedestal, and they had no choice but to look down at me, right? And I said, as I got older, that kind of wore off, right? As I got more mature, and I started to say to myself, shit, they put their pants on just like I do. So it doesn't make a difference if you make $1 billion or if you make 100 grand. We are all human beings.
Exactly.
And don't let that, and that's a good point that I want to point out to you. You said, I don't care if he's a billionaire. I'm going to go out to him and I'm going to say, hey, how can I help you?
Yeah.
And that's powerful stuff. So I want the audience to understand how powerful that is. To don't worry about how much money they make. Listen, I know billionaires too that are scared shitless of their own shadow, and they want guidance just like we do. And they're looking for that lighthouse and that beacon to follow. just like we are. You don't think, what's his name, Mark Cuban and Buffett and all those guys, you don't think they have coaches? They have mentors?
Oh, no,
They have people that they follow? Like, come on. So that was a great point. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's about putting yourself out there. It's about putting yourself out there. That's powerful stuff. And quitting too soon you'll never know, will you?
You'll never know.
and that's almost a sin, like in my eyes. I'm always willing to give something a shot once, and I know whether or not through that experience I'll ever do that again, right? So exactly. I've hired some wrong people in the past. I've hired some amazing people in the past. It's what you learn. It's how you react to those situations that will define who you are, period.
Exactly. And that's where, I'm blessed because, the people that I surround myself with, they're all go-getters. And I mean, I had to change my circle. And it honestly changed my life.
Talk about that real quick. I don't want to open up a whole new can of worms, but this brings up a real good point. So you were hanging around some folks that probably weren't serving you. Tell me how you dismantled that and walked away and got into this new world.
Sacrifices. Honestly, that's what it was. It was sacrificing the time, sacrificing going to the parties, sacrificing, doing all these extracurricular activities. And, it ultimately came down to, I'm trying to grow a business. I'm trying to build my brand. I'm trying to, provide for my family and things of that such. And I want to do it now. If I grind it out in corporate America, try to, climb the ladder, what's that going to take? 10, 15, 20 years? I don't have that type of time, and life isn't guaranteed. So, separating myself it wasn't a hard thing to do, honestly.
What'd you say to yourself?
Honestly, I said, I want more. That was it. I want more. I want more than sitting on the couch playing a video game. I want more than, going to a bar, seeing people that don't really care about you. I wanted to surround myself with like-minded people, and I found that.
That's amazing. And that changed your whole world. That changed your whole business.
It changed my whole world. It changed my whole business. It changed my whole mindset. And once I changed my mindset, everything else just fell into place.
Boom. Hey, thank you so much for coming on today's show. I'm going to leave it at that because that is the way you end a 30-minute value-packed video podcast. I appreciate you coming on today and sharing your story, inspiring those entrepreneurs that are out there that are currently starting out and those that are, been entrepreneurs and are looking to go the next step. And I appreciate all of your insight and your wisdom and your experience and you opening up today to really share all that with us. So appreciate you, man, and looking forward to doing big things with you in the future, my man.
Oh man, I appreciate you for having me, Henry. I'm a huge follower of what you do. I love the way I follow your YouTube all the time. You're always, going through people's funnels, going through their brands and let them know like, hey, your stuff sucks. I'm here to help.
Sometimes I'm a little harsh, but you know what? Sometimes the truth, I tell you one thing, when I get the truth, even though it stings, that's the best feedback I'll ever get in life.
And that's what I'm looking for. I know my brand is in need of a person like yourself, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm ready to grow, and I appreciate your time.
Awesome, man. Listen, we're going to have you back on. We're going to have you back on in about a year when you're crushing it. You're doing $200,000 a month, not a year. So awesome, man. Guys, there you have it. Passionpreneur Video Podcast, episode 21 with Damien Watts from Positive Energy Marketing. He dropped some value. I hope you got some out of it, and we'll check you on the next episode. Take care, guys.
Take care.